This is how to make a theme switcher in Rofi, step by step. Here are the steps 1 through 6. Before that, let's take a look at how it works. Let's say I choose a wallpaper and I hit enter. It's going to change everything based on that, as you can see here. And you also get a couple of notifications that tell you of it. And this works for every wallpaper here, right? So let's give a name to our tool. What are we going to call this tool? I called my tool wallset. You can choose anything like wallify or change theme. Okay, we picked that. Then we add home/.local/bin to our path. Why do we need to do this? Because that is the directory where we're going to store this tool. To add that, I'm going to put it in .zsh-env. This is what you do if you're using the ZSH shell. If you're not using the ZSH shell, you put it in .bash_profile if bash. But for ZSH, it's in .zsh-env. Here, export path, home, your username, .local/bin, and then $path. This is another path that's been added. And these other variables, they're not that important. Term just sets the terminal that you're going to be using. This is Kitty, but I've just set it to Alacrity. And Qt QPA platform theme. This refers to all Qt applications and the theme that they are going to use, which is GTK3. Now, Qt versus GTK, that's a different topic where we have UI toolkits come into picture, but apart from that, this is not of much importance, right? Then once that's done, we write our theme switcher script and put it in .local/bin. I already have that, so it's called .local, it's in .local bin wallset. This is what we use when we're going to make Rofi show the images to select our theme. The command line version of this, I have named wallset backend. You can also name it the same, or you can choose anything else that you'd like. Then this is some pretty basic shell stuff. So first we check if the user has provided an argument. So let's say that you say RM missing operand, right? You're supposed to actually give something to RM in order for RM to remove it. Same thing over here. You check if the user has provided an argument. So what happens if we run wallset backend without giving it an image? It says usage, the path of the program, and path to image. Basically, it's asking you to give it a path. Here, this is just checking if any arguments have been provided. If no arguments have been provided, then you're just going to echo usage $0. $0 is basically the first argument, which is the program name itself, and path to image. And it's going to exit with an exit code of 1, which in this prompt is indicated by the red caret over here. Okay, then if that succeeds, then we take the image path and we store that in the image variable. Great. Let's say I pass it something like path to image. This path is going to be $1, right? And it's going to get stored in image. So image will have this path stored in it. Then first we send a notification to the user. Notify send. So this is the command that you use for sending notifications, changing theme, applying new wallpaper, blah, blah, blah. So just to show you as an example, we'll copy this, paste this over here, and that was Control C to cancel the command, by the way. If you want to just omit a command in between, just press Control C and that'll skip to the next line for you. Do that, hit enter, and you should see the notification here. This was 4 minutes ago when the theme was changed, but right now we get a changing theme notification. And the notification daemon that I'm using over here is sway_nc, which I'll describe how to set up in probably a different video. Okay, that's that. Then we have setting the wallpaper. We use swww for this, img $image, transition type center. You can change this to anything. You have a couple of different transition types like wipe, center, and I think fade is also another one. I'm not sure. Then apart from that, we have transition step. Then we have transition FPS, which is 60. To set the refresh rate of your monitor over here, and things will work out very smoothly. Then generate py-wall colors, wall-i, passing the $image, right, as an argument. And whenever you are writing shell programs, when you're defining a variable, you're not going to use the $, but when you're calling it, that's when you actually use this $. Okay, great. -i stands for image. That's pretty simple. But what about all of these things? Let's check them out. Man wall, right? You look for -n. -n skips setting the wallpaper because we've already done that here. Then we have -s. skip changing colors in terminals because we're going to use MatUgen to set material hue colors for the terminal. Then we have -t, which skips changing the colors in TTY. Now, this program is most probably not going to be run in the TTY, but just in case, you don't want it to do anything to the TTY either. Okay, then we have -e. -e, skip reloading XRDB, i3, Sway, or Polybar. We are on Wayland, so none of this is going to make a difference. We can just eliminate that. Then, make NeoVim use PyWall colors. So there is an extension or a plugin that I'm using for NeoVim, which is called base64 PyWall, I believe. So it's in .config nvim PyWall. Yeah, base46 PyWall. Let's just go to the README, and this is it. If you want to install this where it changes NeoVim colors according to your PyWall theme, then you can just use this. Git clone this repo, just make it, then follow the rest of the commands. That should work. And you add this at the end of your init.lua. Great. This command, python3 chadwall.py, just executing this, is going to refresh the colors of any open NeoVim instances whenever that command is run. Then we are going to refresh Spotify. Installing PyWall Spicify to do this is a completely separate topic, which I will explain in a different video, but what this is doing is just making Spotify adapt to colors that are used by PyWall. That's it. This dribblage thing, again, I'll explain that in a different video perhaps. Then we have MatUgen, which I have discussed in a previous video already, which is just passing in the image using this, and it's going to generate material hue colors for many applications. Those applications would be in .config, MatUgen, config.toml. Yeah. So this is all of the programs that I have configured MatUgen for, which is the wallpaper, Hyprland, Waybar, and all of the rest of this. This is also for web, where if I pull up the start page, yeah, this is a start page, and this follows material hue colors too. If I change the wallpaper, the color of the background and the text and the placeholders, all of this is also going to change along with that. Great. I will leave the template for the web in the description, just so you guys can copy it. Hopefully that helps. Then we have refresh Waybar. This is just going to kill Waybar and restart it with a command, which is mod R in this case. Then refresh Sway and C. Refreshing Sway and C is just going to get rid of all notifications, which you can have if you want to. And it's also making it very useful to debug the configuration or just reload the config whenever you're making changes to it. This part, this is Sway and C. Sway notification center. Then finally, once all of those commands have completed, we send a theme applied, wallpaper and theme updated successfully message over here. This is what that looks like when do not disturb is disabled. Just copy this, quote, there you go. This is what the notification looks like with the blur and everything. I'll leave the config for Sway and C in the description as well, so you can just take it and use it if you want to. Great. That's for wallset backend. Whenever you want to run this, you just run the name of your program. In this case, it's wallset backend, and you give it the path to your image. My images are stored in pictures, wallpapers. Let's say it's some Wallhaven wallpaper, like something like this. When I hit enter, it's going to change everything up. Great, but that doesn't answer the question of how we're going to do this with Rofi. So let's just check out what we need to do. We write our theme switcher script and put it in .local/bin. We have done that. We need to make it executable. So that's done by running chmod +x. So this is change mode plus x stands for make the file executable. In this case, it's going to be a script. .local bin wallset backend, or whatever the name of your program is. This is already executable, so just running this won't do anything, right? Then execute it through the terminal, which will give you the same result as you saw earlier when I changed the wallpaper. Then step 6, and the final one, and the most fun one perhaps, make it work with Rofi. Let's do this. Okay. There are two scripts that I have in that folder, which is .local/bin. So it's wallset and wallset backend. Wallset is actually the command that's going to be executed when I press the keybind to change the theme. So let's check that out. Here we go. This is the directory containing wallpapers. Now this might look a bit complicated. Don't skip around just yet. I will show you exactly what it is. This is the directory containing the wallpapers. So if you want to have your wallpapers in a different place, just put the folder or the path to that over here. Then this is the current working directory to cd back to. We store that. Okay, so whenever you have a $ and parentheses, you're basically telling the shell to take the output of whatever command is inside here and store that in a variable. So let's say I print pwd, it's going to give me this. So whenever I have $ and these parentheses, and I put a command inside that, it's going to take the output of that command and store it in this variable. So if I were to, let's say, print cwd in any point in this program, it's going to print this, which was the working directory at the time of executing the script. Then we cd into the wallpaper directory, and if this fails, we exit. The two pipes basically just refers to if this fails. You can just think of it, whenever you're reading the command, you can think of it like this. Change the directory into the wallpaper directory, and if that fails, i.e. if that wallpaper directory doesn't exist, then just exit. Exit is going to exit out of the script, and you can also make this exit 1 so that you get the little red caret and the terminal knows that the command has failed. You can also do that. Then we have handle spaces and file names. So IFS. IFS is a variable that stands for internal field separator, right? So let's say I have a wallpaper name that goes buildings, skyrise buildings. Skyrise buildings.png. Let's say this is the name of a wallpaper. If I don't set internal field separator to be a new line, by default, it's going to be spaces and new lines. So whenever the shell comes across a space, it's going to treat that as one file name. So this would be treated as skyrise being one file and buildings.png being one file. That is not the case. So we only want new lines to be treated as separate file names. So let's say I had skyrise buildings.png and something else like wallpaper.jpg. Now there is a new line here. Just think of this as a new line. Think of this as a \n, and that's going to make skyrise buildings.png to be one wallpaper and wallpaper.jpg to be the other one. Great. Then we grab the user selected wallpaper. Again, remember the parentheses. That's going to take the output of this command and store it in selected wall. This is just some basic loop stuff that we're doing in just one line. For a in *.jpg and *.png. The asterisk stands for a wildcard. So any file name that ends with a .jpg or a .png, you can also add other extensions like .gif if you have a GIF wallpaper, but that might not work. Just try it out. Let me know if it works. Then we have for a. So this is for every image that you have over here. Do echo -en. -e stands for enable escape sequences. So \n/x, just enable all of that. Then we have -n. What does that mean? We can just go to man echo and look that up. Yeah, do not output the trailing new line. What's that going to do? What it's going to do is just, couldn't spell hello there, but yeah, it echoes a new line so that the prompt goes to the next line. But when you do echo -n, it doesn't do that. And you see this little %sign. That's basically saying that there is no space and that ZSH has just pulled the prompt to the next line for you. That's it. Now this stuff, you can ask ChatGPT to tell you what it is, but essentially you just don't even need to understand this. I'll, again, leave this in the description. You can copy it if you want to. You can just copy and paste. If you want to know more about this stuff, you can just copy and paste it in ChatGPT and it will tell you. But basically you can just abstract this away to get the icon, get the thumbnail of each wallpaper, and put that over here. Just make it display over here. That's it. You don't need to worry about that any more than that. Then we pipe this to Rofi -dmenu -p. -p stands for prompt. So the way this Rofi theme works is we have the prompt over here, and then there is this little text here, which is the prompt, the actual prompt. I do not want that to show in my current theme, but depending on yours, you might want to change this to something like choose wallpaper or dmenu or whatever you want. It's basically the prompt text. And -dmenu, you're just asking Rofi to run in dmenu mode. Great. Then we're almost at the end. We've pretty much finished it. Let's go. If not empty, pass to wall set backend. If the selected wallpaper, if the output of this command is not empty, right? Let's say that you actually do have a wallpaper that is going to be applied, because if you don't, it's just not going to do anything, and it doesn't even give you a message that nothing is being done. So you take the selected wallpaper and you pass that to wall set backend. This is why we named the two programs separately. Again, you can use whatever name you want, get creative with it. It's even better and even more fun. But yeah, if selected wall, this variable, is not empty, then pass it to wall set backend as a path, as an image path, and that should set all the wallpapers and do all the configuration that you need to, that you saw in the previous file that I mentioned. Great. Then you just go back to where you came from. CD to $CWD, which is what we have over here. And if that fails, exit. And again, exit with an exit 1. And that's pretty much it. Not much else. We have made it work with Rofi. Once that's done, you should get something like this where you have all of your images in one folder. You can just choose between them and it all works. Like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, if you want me to make a setup like this for you, click on the first link in the description. I'm also working on a Linux Rising course, which is perfect for beginners and advanced users alike, so join the waitlist to get a discount when that comes out. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.